some have medical conditions like high blood pressure.
Okay.
And the medication side effects can result in low, sexual drive or low, erection. There's poor erection.
Okay.
Once you see an attractive lady, you should be able to achieve erection. Okay, that should last enough for the sexual encounter.
So when you say enough, what is the enough?
Yeah, so
Some say it lasts for 30 minutes, some say 40, some say. So what should be the enough?
Yeah, it depends on the individual. Practicing is a very dangerous condition. I think I've seen it twice in practice.
Okay.
Where a very young man came in on admission with a penis erect, and the only procedure was to drain out the blood.
Wow.
Yes, and after draining the blood, the person loses his masculinity.
Hey.
Yes, it's no longer serious. He can only use it to urinate, that's all. But I can't use it for any other thing.
Charley GH is another day, another episode in IBG Studios. It's your boy, Partinko, Starboy. It be like, say, of late, the youth want to actually impress. When I say impress, it's basically in bed. And most of them have to do with the males that want to impress in bed. They use so many means to do this, taking in so many different drugs, herbs, and so many concoctions. And I asked whether they've thought of effects to this or the negative impact. But well, maybe they don't know. In the studio today, I have with me a special person in the name of Mr. Mahmoud, which I will let him introduce himself so that we start with the discussion. So, you're welcome to the studios, Ness.
Thank you very much.
Kindly tell my viewers a bit about yourself, till we take it from there.
My name is Mahmoud Aminu. I'm a nurse at Wejagbawo Municipal Hospital here in Accra. I've been practicing for the past 12 years. And I care for people living with HIV, TB, and then also young adolescents. Yes, so that's basically what I do.
All right, thank you very much. You're welcome to our studios. And I must ask that, why are more young people interested in using, sex drugs?
Yes, we refer to sex drugs as aphrodisiacs.
Okay.
Yes, we don't say sex drug, we say aphrodisiacs.
Okay.
And then aphrodisiacs are used to enhance sexual performance for clients that have sexual health disorders. So it's usually used on medical grounds. It's not just used for any other reason.
Okay.
It's only when there's a medical reason that we need to use them. But the youth of today want to impress, like you said, because they want to prove their masculinity. They want to, because of peer influence, so they want to prove to their colleagues that they are the best in the neighborhood. And then also easy accessibility to these drugs.
Okay.
So they get to these pharmacies and or even now they have small tables in markets where they can pick up those medications without a prescription.
Okay.
So those are the reasons why it's quite common nowadays.
Yeah, you made mention of sexual health disorders. What are sexual health disorders?
Oh, these are medical conditions that result in poor sexual performance amongst both men and women.
Okay.
And usually the doctors will prescribe these aphrodisiacs to support the men to be able to perform better sexually. Some have medical conditions like high blood pressure.
Okay.
And the medication side effects can result in low, sexual drive or low, erection. There's poor erection.
Okay.
For such men. So usually doctors will prescribe these aphrodisiacs to support those men in terms of sexual health.
Oh, okay.
So as I said, it's prescribed. It's not like you just go take any amount with no prescription.
Okay.
Yes.
So in this case, what should be the underlying condition that will necessitate the prescription of said drugs? Because we know that most of the youth that take it nowadays, they more or less like you can't last long in bed. And I asked even that what is the description of lasting long in bed? So what's the underlying condition that necessarily requires that you prescribe said drugs for the youth?
Just like I said, the youth really do not need these kind of aphrodisiacs to improve upon their sexual drive. Naturally, for every healthy man, once you see an attractive lady, you should be able to achieve erection. Okay, that should last enough for the sexual encounter.
When you say enough, what is the enough?
Yeah, so
some say it lasts for 30 minutes, some say 40, some say. So what should be the enough?
Yeah, it depends on the individual.
Okay.
Some will last up to 15 to 30 minutes, some 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the individual.
Okay.
And also the stimulants, what is actually driving the pleasure.
Okay.
So if the lady is very attractive and the person maybe has been longing for the lady, obviously it won't be the same as someone who is always been with that same lady.
Okay.
Obviously the drive will vary. The duration will vary.
Okay.
Yes. So as and when there's a need for, such acts for the youth, they don't really need these medications.
Okay.
But what worries is when the person is not supposed to take the medication, but end up taking them.
Okay.
And eventually, fine, you may be able to use it for what you want, but later, the effects that are quite very...
Now mentioning of the effects, what are some of these effects? Because it seems most of the youth are interested in using it without thinking of the effects it will, have on them in the near future.
So, what aphrodisiacs do is to increase blood supply to the genitals.
Okay.
In terms of we, the men, it increases blood supply to the penis so that we achieve erection for a very long time.
Okay.
Now, if this erection is achieved and it has been there for a very long time, usually there may be some effects. Some have headaches, some have dizziness, some have even heart conditions in the lung effects. Some also have a condition known as priapism, where the blood that rushes in the penis fails to flow back.
Wow.
Ideally, once it runs in, the penis maintain an erection for a while. Once, the stimuli or whatever is supposed to happen between the man and the woman is over, this blood must rush out back into circulation. And here is the case where it's not able to rush back. Then the person maintains the erection for a very long time. And that's what we term as priapism. Now, priapism is a very dangerous condition. I think I've seen it twice in practice.
Okay.
Where a very young man came in on admission with a penis erect. And the only procedure was to drain out the blood.
Wow.
Yes. And after draining the blood, the person loses his masculinity.
Hey.
Yes. It's no longer
serious.
He can only use it to urinate, that's all.
Oh.
But he can't use it for any other thing. And the person becomes...
So how do you drain the blood?
It's a nasty process.
Wow.
Yes, and it's all bloody like that. But,
okay.
But at the end of the day, we drain out the blood.
Okay.
The penis drops down. But to achieve the erection again...
It cannot be done again.
Will be very difficult. I can't say it will never be done, but it will be very difficult to achieve it again.
So when you go through this process, it is highly possible that you cannot use it again unless
You can only
just for urination.
You can only urinate with it. You can't use it for any other thing.
Wow. Then this is very serious.
Yeah. So use of aphrodisiacs like Viagra and those ones that are in the market do not really help when you don't really need it. Okay. For a young man, I don't see why you should be taking these medications.
Okay. So what is making these drugs or these drugs very popular? Is it social media?
Just like you asked earlier, usually the communities where we find ourselves, there's this perception that for a man, you should be able to last long in bed. You should be able to, like the word you use, knack very well.
Oh, yes.
And the person will think you have to go beyond the normals. So you see someone wanting to maintain an erection for 2 hours, 3 hours. Then for the entire community to say he is the best in the neighborhood. Peer influence, yes. So that's what we have been using nowadays. And because of that, I'm the best in town. And you say my girlfriend left me because I'm not able to achieve those and all that. So they will also want to go in for those medications to help them. So the peer influence is there. Then the availability. These drugs are readily available in our pharmacies with no prescriptions, in our marketplaces where you see a small table with all the...
Yes, sometimes you see some miniature, things put there too.
Yes, and they have easy access to it. So once they pick it up, they take it without even considering the dosage and how much to take and all that and when to take it. They just take it anyhow. And at the end of the day, the effects are very there.
So should we blame the women or we should blame the society for this?
I think it all boils down to the social media influence, people, saying all sort of things on social media. Some may not even be true. They are just looking for trends for people to listen to them more and all that. And then the youth blindly will want to follow. Now, as they follow, they never tell them about the effects of those actions and end up having a lot of issues in future. So I'll blame the social media. I also blame our pharmaceutical companies and our regulators who allow such drugs in the country. Well, they may have all the adverts, but if you don't have access to it, you can only listen to them and then there's nothing you can do about it. But once you listen to someone on social media claiming to be so good with a certain medication, then at the end of the day, you also have access to it out there. Then, obviously, those pharmaceutical companies and then even the regulatory bodies are not really helping. Once these drugs are well regulated, I don't see how they can have access to them. Yes.
So what can be done to educate the youth, especially on these, aphrodisiacs, their effects, and other consequences?
So just like we are doing, it's a kind of public education.
Yes.
Telling the youth that the use of aphrodisiacs are not necessary for them. When there's a need for an aphrodisiac, the doctor will have to prescribe it for you. You just don't go to the open market and then take it because you want to impress a lady or anything. You end up being the one losing at the end of the day. And you end up with a lot of medical conditions just because of you wanting to impress a lady. Yes. And also, there should be a lot of education on our social media platform, our WhatsApp platform, wherever there's any gathering. We should educate the youth about the effects of the use of these aphrodisiacs. For the pleasure, you enjoy it. but the future effects may be very there.
Okay.
And at that time, it may be too late for you. So I would advise the youth to desist from use of these aphrodisiacs. Naturally, you can have intercourse and be okay. You don't really need any aphrodisiac to support you for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I believe the youth are watching us and they are listening very, very well. It's important to know that, aphrodisiacs have their own side effects. And as you know, and you've heard from Ness, you're not supposed to, take it without any sort of prescription. But before we leave, your last words for the youth.
A study in Tamale revealed that about 39.8% of men in Tamale reported using Viagra, making it the commonly used aphrodisiac. And then some say they use AK-47 and then Playboy and all those ones. The effects is where the worry is. You may enjoy it today, but maybe you may be in your 20s, 30s, you are very healthy. You may not see the effects now, but somewhere age 40, 50, getting into your old age, then you start getting some heart conditions, some cardiovascular conditions where you may never know or you may never remember what you did some years back. Probably those medications that you took that is causing this. And at that age is when you needed it.
Okay.
But you have already used your body for that. The body is already used to those medications. So they don't tend to work anymore. So then what happens? So you are very healthy as a young man, naturally. You can have intercourse without the use of these aphrodisiacs. Once you attain a certain age and you are not able to achieve those kind of erections and those sexual desires, then you are assisted by a qualified doctor with the right dosages of these medications, these aphrodisiacs, and you do very well. Okay. But once you start early, then you are causing a lot of harm than good to you.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ness Mahmood, for this, in-depth knowledge on aphrodisiacs. My friends, my brothers and sisters, let me be honest with you. As we've learned from Ness, it's important to know that aphrodisiacs are for those who have medical conditions. You don't need to take aphrodisiacs to go and impress anybody. You impress somebody today, you impress a lady today, tomorrow you suffer for it. And the future is what you should look for or think about. So take note that if you want to do anything of this nature, go to the right people, go to the hospitals for your resolution. Don't forget, it's IBG Studios, Charley GH, and I'm your usual host, Abdul Karim Kamal. You can call me Patinko Starboy. Until we meet again, bye-bye for now.